Hi! Happy Valentine's Day! Or should I say Galentine's Day, considering the only men in my life are the MMCs and the romance books that I'm about to tell you about. Regardless, let's go. Hi, I'm Marina, or Marina, depending on how you want to pronounce that, and this is my YouTube channel. Happy you're here! Today I thought I'd tell you about my top 10 romance books of all time. And when I say romance books, I say only books from the genre romance in this video. I'm not going to include romantasy or dark romance, because otherwise the list would just go on and on and on. And I'm trying to keep it concise over here, because Lord knows she can yap. So, in honor of Valentine's Day, here are my top 10 romance books that still make me believe in love, even with modern dating. Also, these are in no particular order. I'm just randomly picking one out. This is not like top 10, like what's my 1 through 10. These are just generally my top 10. You get what I'm saying. Okay, starting off with a oldie but a goodie. That's The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I feel like this is like a really OG book talk book. It's college sports romance, it's rom-com, it's really cute, yet it does deal with some heavier topics, but I feel like they're done really well in this book. If you get triggered easily, maybe check your trigger warnings. It does deal with abuse and SA, but none of that happens on page. It's just mentioned on page. This is about Garrett and Hannah. Garrett is a captain of the college hockey team, and Hannah is a music student at the same college. Garrett is kind of struggling with one class because in order to keep playing hockey, he needs to keep his GPA at a certain level, and he's failing a certain class that's kind of bringing it down. And then one day he accidentally sees that Hannah got an A from that class or a test in the class, so he's trying to convince her to tutor him, and she's like, well then I need to get something in return. So they strike a deal to help each other, and that's how it kind of plays out. This is adorable. This is rom-com at its best. It is book 1 in an interconnected standalone series. There are like 4 books and then an epilogue novel, but it's the first one, so you could just read this one, or if you want to read the rest of the series, I recommend that too. I read all of them, but this one is by far my favorite. Hannah and Garrett are just... I read this like 3 years ago, right when I got into reading, and it's still stuck with me, and I want to reread this book so bad. It's the perfect like mix of like funny banter, rom-com, giggle, but then also like dealing with heavier real life topics and like them bonding over that and kind of letting each other in and kind of being the first people to kind of share these things with. It's just the perfect romance books. So yeah, if you have not read The Deal by Elle Kennedy, I strongly recommend you do so. And if you want to read the entire Off-Campus series, go ahead. Then there's another spin-off from that called Briar U. I haven't read that. And now there's a second gen series going on with the kids of the characters that you meet in this series. So like, that's a whole universe for you to explore if you would choose to do so. Next up, another oldie but a goodie, another OG book talk, or maybe kind of the beginning of spicy talk. That term kind of makes me cringe because I hate the whole stigma around... Oh god, I'm not even getting into it. I'm not getting into it. Twisted Games by Anna Huang. This is from the Twisted series. It's 4 books. This is the second one. The book is kind of hit and miss for me. The first book, I don't like. Second book, 5 fucking stars, perfection. Third book, I loathe, and that's an unpopular opinion. Everyone loves Twisted Hate. I loathe that book. And then the last book, which is Twisted... What the fuck is the last one called? Twisted Lies. It's called Twisted Lies. That one was like 3.5, 4 stars. It was okay, but I'd never think about it. But this is where it's at. This is where it's at. Can you read this on its own? Maybe? Actually, no you can't. Actually, no, because their story does start in Twisted Love, so I'm sorry. I do think you should suffer through the first book. Hey, who knows? You might like it. I didn't, but maybe you should read that, because yeah, Reese and Bridget's story does begin in that. This is Reese and Bridget. This is princess and bodyguard trope, which is like insane. It's just, imagine Princess Diaries with like Anne Hathaway or like a Disney princess movie, but then make it like a modern day spicy romance. Bridget, she's a princess of a made up land somewhere in Europe, I think. And Reese is her new bodyguard. He's an ex-Navy SEAL. He's, you know, tall, dark, tatted, brooding. And yeah, blushing just thinking about this book. I mean, do I need to tell you more than just Princess Bodyguard? Do I need to tell you? That's everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. Basically, in the other books, it's 4 girls, they all get their books, but it's just 4 girls who became friends in college, because Bridget went to college in the US because she just wanted to be like every other girl. She's like, I'm not a princess. She's not the crown princess. Her older brother is the crown prince. But then her older brother falls in love with someone who's not royal, and because it's like the Princess Diaries, you have to marry someone from a royal bloodline because, you know, we have to keep it in the family. That's gross. I'm sorry. But yeah, her brother falls in love with someone who's not royal blood and then gives up his crown to be with that person. So now the responsibility of being the crown princess falls to Bridget, and she has to go back home. But then, you know, her bodyguard is also not of royal blood. So you see the problem our girl will be facing. This is kind of not enemies to lovers. Enemies to lover more like a book talk way, but like more like strong dislike. He thinks she's a spoiled princess. She thinks he just has to stick up his ass and needs to relax. Ugh. The first part of this book takes place simultaneously in the timeline of Twisted Love, and then we do get a time jump of them 2 years later. He's been her bodyguard for 2 years. They've been kind of dancing around this chemistry for 2 years, and then with the whole her brother giving up his crown, shit gets real and she kind of has to step into the shoes of her brother, and she doesn't want to. And I read this book. Read this book. It's worth suffering through the first one. Read it. I love them so much. I love them so much. Yeah, it was probably one of the first books that I ever tabbed. And now I want to read this one too. Fuck. I mean, yeah, it literally says he can't have her, but he's taking her anyway. So take that as you will. But read it. Read it. Read it. Read it. It's so much fun. God, I love reading. Next up, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I'm an Emily Henry lover. If you read romance and you haven't read Emily Henry, you need to read Emily Henry, is what I'm telling you. I think this is the first year in like 5 years that she's not coming out with a book though, because she's working on all her adaptations, which is a bit sad, I'm not gonna lie. This is by far my favorite book by her. A second favorite of mine is Happy Place, so honorary mention to Happy Place. That one was also 6 stars. I adored that book, but I love this one just a little better, and I just wanted to include one book by every author here. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It follows Nora and Charlie. They both work in a publishing industry. She's an agent and he's an editor, I believe. Nora is like a really like cold, like really business forward, like badass type of woman. Like she's referred to as a shark. She kind of says that all her relationships fail because all her partners just say she's very cold and unattached. But what she really is just traumatized. Charlie and Nora meet through work in the very beginning of this book, and that meeting goes very poorly. They get a very bad first impression of each other because something had just happened to Nora prior to that meeting, and she was just not the best version of herself. In this book, she's single and her sister is married with kids, and her sister read this one book that takes place in this small town that's like a real place you can go to, so her sister convinces Nora to go to this small town with her for the summer and kind of experience their own small town summer romantic type of vibe, I guess. So they travel to that small town, and who does she run into there? Charlie, because turns out he is actually from there, and she does not believe this because Nora and Charlie are both very New Yorkers, very typical like New Yorkers. So seeing him in his dress shoes and khakis and button up in a little cafe in a small town, she is like, what is he doing here? He does not look like he belongs here. And yeah, and then they're kind of pushed together to work on a project while they're for the summer, so they start working together again, and that's how they get closer. Charlie Lastra is the best male main character that Emily Henry has ever written. Argue with the wall. I love him, and I love Nora. This whole book also just feels like a love letter and also simultaneously an apology to eldest daughters, and I am one, so I felt very seen in this book. It's just the way Charlie gets her to open up slowly, and she's just very distrusting. She's very overprotective of her sister. Something happened to them when they were kids that kind of caused them to not get the best start in life, or they're both kind of dealing with that in their own ways. And by dealing with that, meaning Nora really never dealt with it, and Charlie kind of helps her just kind of come to terms with things and just soften up a bit, just break through that icy tough exterior, and it's just beautiful. Emily Henry books are beautiful, they're poetic, they still feel somewhat tied into real life when you can actually see these things happening, and these do feel like very genuine and real people with real life problems. And just, yeah, Book Lovers by Emily Henry, my favorite Emily Henry book by far. Like I said, Happy Place is a strong second one, but if you're gonna read an Emily Henry book, I would recommend to start with this one. Next up, we're going back into sport romance. This is the Windy City series by Liz Tomforty. If you're on BookTok and haven't heard of this, I'm impressed, to be honest. It is a interconnected standalone series. The first book is Mile High, then it's The Right Move, then it's Caught Up, then it's Play Along, and then it's Rewinded Back. That was the last book that came out. They're all behind me. I don't know if you can see them. This is my favorite. This is the third book, and this is my favorite. I think you can kind of read this by its own. I do recommend reading the entire series if you want to commit to it, but you can read this on your own. We briefly meet the main character Kai in the second book, but he doesn't really play a bigger role in it. He's just introduced in so that we kind of know that the next book is going to be about him. And the FMC Miller in this book, we also haven't met her previously. We meet her for the first time in this one. So, interconnected standalone, sports romance, single dad, nanny. I used to hate the idea of that trope. And then I read this book and then Heartless by Elsie Silver back to back, and I was like, shit, I think I might love this trope. I don't know. I think it's just a me problem, considering that my parents had me very young and I was the child of a single father who was still dating when I was little. So I just feel bad for the kid, to be honest. I'm like, if this relationship doesn't work out, this kid is gonna have the same abandonment issues that I do. That got a little too personal and deep, but regardless. So I used to think I would not like this trope at all. And then I read a couple of books with it and I was like, shit, it's so good though. So, Kai Rhodes is a professional baseball player. Miller is a professional chef. Her father is the coach of Kai's team. So she's kind of a chef who travels for a living. She just travels from place to place working as a chef, and her dad's trying to convince her to take the summer off because she's been working herself to the ground. She's kind of lost, not knowing what to do with life, as you know, most women in their 20s are. So her dad's like, just come travel with me and the team for the summer, and like, just take some time off, relax, spend time with your old man. Like, let's just have a nice little father-daughter summer while you can be with the team. Kai Rhodes is a single dad. He had a kid from like a one-night stand, and then the girl just like dropped the baby off at his doorstep and was like, sorry, I can't do this. And he was like, well, shit, I'm a dad now. But he is a great father. A very overprotective one, because he's been trying to find a nanny for his like 1-year-old kid while actively playing baseball in the season, and he just fires nanny after nanny after nanny after nanny because he finds something wrong with them. And then his coach is like, hey, my daughter is going to be traveling with the team for the summer and she could nanny your child. And that's how this starts. Kai is like very kind of uptight, not really uptight. Let's just say this. Kai is very strongly type A, while Miller is very strongly type B. They meet for the first time in an elevator. He's in the elevator with a diaper bag and his child, and Miller is next to him chugging a beer at 9 a.m. and he's like, who is this crazy girl? And then they both walk into his coach's office and he realizes that this is the daughter that the coach wants to babysit his child. And he's like, not happening. And she's like, relax, baseball daddy. What's the worst that could happen? And he's like, never call me that again. And they are so... all of these are my favorite romance books ever. That's why I'm making this video. But this book, Miller is just lost and kind of constantly running away, trying to find her place in the world. And then she kind of finds home with Kai and his son Max and falls in love with them, but then kind of gets really spooked. And he's like not wanting to tie her down, but also like end up falling for each other. And then it's just... this is so good. It's so funny. It's cute. It's beautiful. It's romantic. It's real and painful and human and it's also hot. He is so hot. Just imagine a tattooed baseball player with a backwards hat and glasses holding a child. Like, what? Caught Up by List of 40. Also, the next book after this, Play Along, is about his brother. That one was also 5 stars protection. Like I said, I just wanted to include one book by every author, but Caught Up and Play Along, some of the best sport romance books out there. Some of the best. They're the only ones I gave 5 stars in the Windy City series. I'm in 6 stars. They're both in like my god tier romance books probably. Should I just pull up Play Along? Anywho, Play Along. Read that one too. That's like getting married in Vegas accidentally drunkenly when you've been secretly having a crush on someone for like forever. Like, the tropes are so good too. Oh, I mentioned Miller's dad in this, Kai's coach. He's getting his own book in April. And I'm ready for it. The next book takes a bit of a darker turn, and that book is Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. This book is a lot more darker in its tone, meaning it's not just like a rom-com giggling kick your feet. Like, no, this is a painful love story, beautiful story of like just conflicting emotions and 2 people overcoming grief together and just immense feelings of guilt. And just, I love this book. This book kind of takes place over 2 timelines. In the prologue, we meet the main character, Charlotte. It's Valentine's Day, and she's like 15 years old, and she climbs to the rooftop of her school because she does not want to be here anymore. And as she gets to the rooftop, she sees that someone's already there, and that someone is Kellen, kind of the freak, punky, outcast kid from her class, and he's there because he has the same intentions as she does. They end up talking and deciding to just they decide that neither of them is going to go through with it, and they make a pact to meet up every year on Valentine's Day on the said rooftop and kind of reevaluate where they are and whether or not they want to go through with their decision. They have no contact in the year in between. So then it's like, takes place over like 3 or 4 Valentine's days as they meet on the rooftop. And obviously they start kind of forming this bond. They are sharing very heavy things with each other and just kind of bonding over that, and also just growing close. They're kids, so like kind of they start developing crushes on each other, but both of them are just not really in a place to do anything about that. And then Charlotte starts getting a little better while Kellen keeps kind of spiraling down. And then she tries to reach out to him like in the year between the Valentine's days, and he like kind of humiliates her in front of everyone's school, embarrasses her. She starts getting really worried about him. She goes to teacher. She tries to go to his brother who he's living with and constantly complaining about hating living with him because he wants to just go back to his dad, but he can't because his father is an addict. And she just tries everything, and he's refusing to accept help. And then they do grow closer, and then on the last Valentine's Day in the prologue, she's a little late because of something happened with her sister, and she gets to the rooftop and realizes that Kellen has already made his decision and is no longer with her and is no longer here. And then we kind of get a 2-year time jump. It's 2 years after his death. It's Valentine's Day again. Valentine's Day is also her birthday, so she's just kind of trying to overcome the day. She's a lot better now. She's done the work on her mental health. She's working as an assistant in a publishing agency. And it's Valentine's Day, so she's just trying to keep her mind off everything and just work that day. Her boss is pregnant and wants her to make her a doctor's appointment with her doctor because she's not getting a hold of her doctor. So Charlotte goes to the doctor's office, and the doctor is someone who, like, a women's doctor who specializes in high-risk pregnancies, and especially with women in later age. Like, her boss is in her late 40s and pregnant. She gets to the office. The secretary says there's no time, but you can wait if you want to, and she's like, I'll wait. She sits down outside the door, and she reads the plaque on the door and realizes that the doctor is Kellen's older brother, and it's the anniversary of his death. She never met the brother, but she's only ever heard Kellen complain about him. She kind of loses her shit and just barges in to the office of his brother, and let's just say his brother is currently busy on his desk, and there's also a woman there. You can paint the picture yourself. What does she do? She stands and stares. What does he do? Notices her, makes eye contact with her, and keeps staring, but also keeps doing what he's doing. So, we get a great first impression of Tate. And then she kind of reveals to Tate, because Tate didn't know that his brother had any friends. No one came to the funeral. He thought he just didn't have any friends. He had never heard of her. And then she kind of just barges out of the office and was like, your brother was right about you. And then he's like, wait a minute. And then they meet up and they start having meetings, and then they kind of fill in each other's blanks about Kellen and what it is that drove him to do what he did, to make the decision that he did. And it's just both of them trying to come to terms with it. It's Charlotte realizing that blaming Tate isn't that easy, that it's not that black and white, that he actually did try his best to help his brother, but his brother was just that long gone that he just wouldn't accept help from either of them. And then it's them kind of bonding over this shared grief and being the only two people who truly knew Kellen, and just kind of filling in the blanks and just dealing with each other's guilt. And Charlotte also realizes that Tate is drowning in guilt, and due to that he's miserable, he's acting out, he is straight up an asshole, and she kind of sees through that facade and realizes that no, this man is just in agony and has spent the last 2 years blaming himself. I couldn't help Kellen, but I want to help his brother. And so they form this kind of friendship that then starts turning into more than a friendship. But then there's obviously the guilt and the pressure and the kind of feeling of this is not right, this is so wrong, especially on Tate's part. There is an age gap. Tate is 12 years older, Charlotte is 22 and he's 34. He's like, not only is she 12 years younger, she was also my brother's apparently girlfriend. Like, I could not, like, I'm already an asshole, like that would just make me more an asshole as I actually fell for my dead brother's girlfriend. Like, what is wrong with me? And her being like, there's nothing wrong with this, what we're feeling. Like, it's just such a beautiful story between these two people, just trying to overcome these emotions and kind of finding solace in each other and finding the peace in each other that they've been looking for years, and realizing that they're never going to get the answers that they want and they just have to live with that. And this book is a bit messy. This book is just... Can you tell I love this book? I could cry talking about this book. It's just a beautiful story of overcoming a lot of hard things. And I feel like it's also a really beautiful and realistic depiction of grief and all the ways it can manifest and show up in different types of people. And why am I getting emotional about this? Jesus. Yeah, Darling Venom. Darling Venom. All of these books are obviously like 5 stars, but this, yeah. If you haven't read Darling Venom, just do that for me, will you? But definitely check your trigger warnings. This is not a light, fluffy read. It does deal with suicide and self-sabotaging behavior and just a lot of heavy topics. So please check your trigger warnings before going into this. But it is a beautiful, beautiful book. Then, to kind of lighten the mood, we're gonna go from Darling Venom to Yippee-ki-yay, Elsie Silver. Elsie Silver, if you have not heard of her, she writes small town cowboy romances. This is the 4th book in Chestnut Spring series, which is by far her most popular series. The 1st book is Flawless, 2nd book is Heartless, 3rd book is Powerless, this is the 4th book Reckless, and then we have the 5th book Hopeless. They are interconnected standalones. You can read them by themselves, but I just honestly, they're all incredible. So why wouldn't you just read all 5 books? Because they are amazing. I gave the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th book 5 stars. Heartless is a strong contender. Heartless, like I mentioned earlier, was my first ever single daddy nanny romance. It's Kate Eaton and Willa. Read that. Powerless is the best French to lovers book out there. Argue with the wall. It made me fall in love with the trope. And now Reckless is... This also feels like a love letter and simultaneously an apology to eldest daughters, the same way Book Lovers does. Theo Silver and Charlie Lastra kind of give the same energy in a sense where they're like, girl, act out all you want, push me away all you want. I'm sturdy as a fucking stone wall, throw whatever you want at me, I can handle it. Like, this book is about Theo and Winter. We meet both of the characters in the earlier books. Winter is the sister of the girl from the 1st book, Flawless. Her childhood has been very complicated. Her father had an affair when she was a kid and had her sister with their maid or some shit. You know, just your typical white guy bullshit. And so then she kind of grew up. Her mother became very antagonistic toward her sister, which kind of very much effed up her relationship with her sister. She also is is in the beginning of this book, she's married to a man that has something to do with her sister that you learn in the first book. So actually, you should read the first book before reading this. Theo is a bull rider. Theo is a professional bull rider, and this is a trope. Let me see if it does say in the back, so I can tell you. This is accidental pregnancy trope. Also a trope that I didn't think I would like, but it is done so well in this book. Basically, Winter is also, her name kind of fits her. She's also very cold, unattached, distant. Theo is this like very golden retriever, or even more like Doberman energy. He's just this big, sexy goofball. The first time he notices Winter, he's like, oh girl, hey, and she's like, yeah, she literally tells one of the other guys, like, can you please put your dog on a leash? And he literally starts barking at her. Yeah, she tries to be cold and unattainable. He keeps trying, he keeps flirting. The man is persistent. She finally gives in, and she's like, fine, one time, and we're never gonna talk about it. They have one night stand. She gets pregnant, and it kind of goes on from there. I don't want to tell you too much of this because it's just, I don't want to ruin any of the reading experience for you, but this is, Theo and Winter are so beautiful. I love them so much. Same with the whole book lovers thing, is why they remind me of that couple, because it's just like the girl who has trouble opening up, and the guy who's just so patient and unwavering and just supportive. And 6 stars, my favorite Elsie Silver book. Heartless and Powerless are strong contenders, but still they don't reach this level. This book is amazing. Okay, next book, Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. This is the third and last book in the Knock 'Em Out trilogy. The first book is Things We Left Behind. No, this is the one. The first book is Things We Never Got Over, second book is Things We Hide from the Light, and the third book is Things We Left Behind. You can read this on your own, but again, it's an interconnected standalone, so it'll always be a better experience if you do read all the 3 books. And I do think it's worth it, because the crumbs that we get of Lucian and Sloane in the first books, like, I remember finishing the first book and being like, give me Lucian and Sloane's book right now. Give it to me right the fuck now. But I still had to read the second book, which I did also give 4.5 stars. So, like, not a waste of time at all. But yeah, Lucian and Sloane, we do meet them in the first books. And you can tell that they are very antagonistic towards each other. Like, they do not stand each other at all. And everyone else is also in the friend group of, like, what is their deal? Like, they just, oh. She calls him Lucifer, so that kind of tells you also that, like, she does not like him. But he is also very protective over her in a sense, and then she gets really pissed off about that, and just, oh, the little scenes, the little breadcrumbs we get throughout the first books, and then we finally get to this book. This is childhood friends to lovers to enemies, and then their journey from there on. Basically, they were neighbors growing up. Lucian had a very hard home life, so he kind of found solace and escape in Sloane and her family. It's the typical, the boy next door climbed through her bedroom window, and then her parents invited him down to dinner. He's like, hey, come to dinner and bring the boy that's in your bedroom too. And she's like, well, shit. Her parents were so chill, and I love that. And kind of their parents can also read Lucian that he kind of needs stability and just a safe place to go. So they become really close friends as teenagers in high school. And then something happens that causes them to just not get along anymore. And then we pick up on modern day, them being very antagonistic with each other, them not standing each other, them constantly being at each other's throats. And then we kind of finally start figuring out and putting the pieces together, like what happened when they were kids that just made them have such strong dislike towards each other. They're kind of both all at an impasse with, like, they're like, hey, like, this is very tiring. This is very annoying to our friends too, like how we're constantly at each other's throats. Like, how do we work off all of this negative energy? And they find a solution. And So yeah, they tried that, and then obviously the old feelings they had for each other as teenagers started kind of resurfacing, but then also his trauma from what happened back when he was a teenager with his family starts also manifesting, and him kind of then putting up a wall and being like, this is only this, like it can't be anything anymore, and she's like doesn't understand why. And then it's them kind of finally facing their issues and finally talking about what happened and why he's so upset with her for that, because it's him who kind of shut her out, and her then kind of getting antagonistic about that because she's like, I did nothing wrong, why are you so angry at me? And it's yeah. Lucian Rollins. The women in this universe refer to him as Suit Daddy. He's like a businessman with like his suits and his dark wool coats. Meanwhile, she's like this quirky librarian who wears glasses and is just like a ball of energy, and they're like very much opposites attract. And oh, I love them. I love their story. I really am starting to learn that I like love a friends to lovers, because there's just something about how well they know each other and that no one else knows them better, and they can't like lie to each other or hide things from each other even how hard they try. I also want to reread this, and I have a TBR of over 200 books, and here I am wanting to reread all 10 of these. Fuck. Next book goes kind of back to emotional territory, and that is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. Also an older book. This is the only book I've ever read by this author. Oh my god, I missed this book so much now that I'm thinking about it. This is about Archer and Bree. Something happened to Bree in her life where she kind of had to run away from where she was. So she is on the run, and she settles down in this small town. And in that small town, she meets Archer. Archer had an accident when he was a kid, which caused him to lose function in his vocal cords. So he is fully mute. He's fully an outcast. He lost his family. He was raised by this very weird conspiracy theorist uncle who kind of believed that everyone was against him. So they grew up very isolated on just his lands in the small town. And after his uncle passed, he's just kind of been isolated there. He has no social interactions. He lacks completely social skills. She accidentally stumbles upon him and on his grounds while he's working outside. He has fully like long hair and a long beard. I'm just imagining like Noah from The Notebook with the beard and looking all disheveled. And Bree's father was deaf, so she knows sign language, and that's also how he communicates, as he's mute. And she's kind of the only one who knows how to communicate with him, because everyone in the town is kind of like, yeah, that's Archer, like he's really weird and kind of just does his own thing, and we kind of just leave him alone. And then they form this beautiful friendship, and she kind of brings him out of his like shell and kind of brings him out amongst people and kind of learning different social skills, and obviously developing that into a relationship, and him having kind of nothing but like a conceptual idea of things and not even necessarily that. And it's just this beautiful story of them kind of helping each other. Like, he makes her feel safe, which is what she needs right now because she is on the run because of what happened to her. And meanwhile, she kind of brings him out and makes him feel more comfortable being himself, and that also helps like communicates with him. It's just a really beautiful story of these two souls kind of finding each other and helping each other out from like a really dark place, and finding peace and solace and safety and comfort in each other in a whole new way that neither of them has ever experienced. Archer's Voice, incredible, beautiful, deep, but also a good balance with deep and just like a fluffy, beautiful romance book. Next up, we're entering a more toxic territory with these last two books. The second last book is A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. This book is messy. This book is complicated. This book is at times toxic, but it's so worth it. Like, you're gonna be in pain for most of this, but you're gonna be happy about it, if that makes any sense. This book is about Bea and Jamie, and this story takes place over, I believe, like 13 years. It starts with them meeting off in high school, and then it goes on from there, from like year after year after year after year. This book is very much right person, wrong time. They meet, and he starts dating her best friend. And they kind of hang out all the time, all three of them, and Jamie and B kind of form this bond, form this friendship, but like nothing happens obviously because he's with her best friend, but then they break up, and then it's kind of them being like, is it our time? But it's not. He's a year older, so he goes off to college, then it picks up in college. B's dating someone, turns out that someone is Jamie's roommate because he's at the same college. And it's just back and forth over years, over years, over years, over years. Every time they get together, something is keeping them apart. It's either someone is moving away or someone is in a relationship. That is one of the things people have a problem with this book. Yes, there is unfortunately cheating in this book, but never on each other, just on other people with each other. Not the best thing. But like I said, it's so messy and it's so aggravating. I wanted to throw this book through the window so many times while reading this because you just want these characters to get their shit together because you just can feel through the pages, and it's so poetically written, and you're just like, you just want these characters to be together and get their happily ever after because they belong together, and they just can't get their shit together, and they keep dating other people and getting engaged and about to get married, and then the other person is there and they're like, oh wait, why am I getting married? I still love this person clearly, and you're like, oh my god, just get it together. But it is so worth it. It is so worth it. Just messy, complicated, yearning, just so many emotions wrapped in this book. It is a thick one, but it is so good. Candy Steiner's writing in this is absolutely insane. The way she compares her love for Jamie as an addiction, refers to him, a love letter to whiskey. She refers to Jamie as whiskey. Like, let me read you the prologue just so you know how insane this writing is. It's crazy how fast the buzz comes back after you've been sober for so long. I opened my door and I felt tipsy just at the sight of him, eyes blurring and legs shaking. It used to take me at least a shot to get to this point, but my tolerance level had been weakened by distance and time. And just seeing him warmed my blood. I gripped the knob tighter as if that'd help, but it was like trying to chug water after passing the point of no return. Whiskey stood there on my doorstep, just like he had 1 year before. Except this time, there was no rain, no anger, no wedding invitation. It was just us. It was just him, the old friend, the easy smile, the twisted solace wrapped in a glittering bottle. It was just me, the alcoholic, pretending like I didn't want to taste him, realizing too quickly that months of being clean didn't make me crave him any less. Like, that's the prologue, bro. I think you get the idea. A love letter to whiskey. This is pain but perfection. Keeping up with the theme of toxic and messy, but so worth it, is Magnolia Parks. Now, this is a series that you do need to read in order. It's Magnolia Parks series, but there's two main characters who get books, which are Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. The first book is Magnolia Parks. The second book is Daisy Hates. The third book is Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home. Fourth book is Daisy Hates, The Great Undoing. And the fifth book is Magnolia Parks, Into the Dark. We do have two more Daisy Hates books coming, but the Magnolia Parks storyline has finished. But the timelines do cross over, which is why you do need to read all the books in order, and the characters are just in each other's books constantly. This is about Magnolia and BJ. I like them better than Daisy and Christian, probably just because their book was first. Honestly, it's that simple. This is not for everyone. This is one of those books where you either love it or you absolutely hate it. I'm on the love part. This is the only book series that I've ever considered getting a tattoo for, and I'm probably planning on doing it sometimes this year. I want a quote tattooed on my arm from this, and it's something Magnolia says about BJ in the third book. The writing in this is also insanely romantic. The quote I want to get tattooed on my body is, "He laughs, and for some reason it sounds like I'm ringing a doorbell of the home I grew up in." And I just love the sentiment of a person feeling like home, and just seeing a person again is like coming home after a long time. And it's just, these books are about Magnolia and BJ. Magnolia and BJ are, they're kind of a friends to lovers trope in a very messy way. This whole friend group, the book series is kind of about a friend group in London. They're all just Nepo babies, kids of rich parents, and they all got kind of shipped off to boarding school in their teens. And then they kind of formed this very codependent friend group there because they were all away from their families. Magnolia and BJ have kind of been this thing where it's like they've known since they were kids that they were gonna be together. They were gonna be it. they started dating at like 15 years old, and they broke up when they were 19 and 20 because BJ cheated on her. And now the book starts like, I think it's been like 2 years since they broke up, but they still sleep in the bed every night. They spend all their time together, and they still act like they're together, except they don't touch, they don't kiss. She doesn't let him touch her, yet they still just are with each other's constantly because they are each other's best friend. They are each other's person. She can't forgive him, but she also can't go without him. And that's kind of where the book picks up, of like them kind of back and forth, constantly the push and pull between them, not knowing how to be apart, not knowing how to be together, her not knowing how to forgive him but wanting to, but hating herself for wanting to forgive him, and hating him for making her feel like this, him hating himself for making her feel like this, him refusing to tell her all the details about how it happened and why and who, and just so many mixed up emotions of just like wanting to be with your person, but just not feeling like you don't know them at the same time, but it's not possible because you know them better than absolutely anyone, so you don't understand how they could do this to you because you know how much they love you because you love them as much. It's the way Jessa Hastings writes love is unlike I've ever read before. Her writing, I want every single fucking word tattooed on my body. Like, I cannot describe it. Like, it's so good. It's so painful. It hurts so much, but it also hurts so good. And you just, and these characters are so complicated, so complex. Magnolia Parks is probably one of the most unique FMCs I've ever read. She is not like your go-to like morally like just a good girl. Like she's very much like an entitled kind of diva, self-absorbed to a sense. BJ is like this golden retriever, but also simultaneously a fuckboy, because Guy, he gets around, and then she kind of will take revenge on him and go also be with someone else. But then it's like it's literally like ugh. Like, she'll sleep with someone else and then get upset, and the person she goes to is him, and he kind of immediately knows, and then it's him comforting her because she feels like shit because she was with someone else when she only ever wanted to be with him, but she can't be with him because he ruined that, but she still goes to him. It's so messy, but it's so good. It's so good. So good. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. The first book is by far the most fucked up. Like, you will probably hate BJ in this book. I will defend him with my dying fucking breath. You do learn more about him in then their second book, which is the third book, Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home. We do learn more about BJ and why he did what he did and what led up to him, and something that did happen to him when he was younger. And just, you can't help but to feel with these characters. You can't help but to understand them so deeply and to feel for them, and then you justify their actions, but it also fucks with your head. Like, a quote in this book, he tells her at some point, like, I've had the time of my life being fucked up by you. And that's literally what this book feels like. I'm pretty sure my Goodreads review of this book says I had the time of my life being fucked up by this book, because it does fuck with your head, but it makes you feel so much, is what I'm saying. It makes you feel so much, and I love it. Read Magnolia Parks. But that's, yeah, you do have to read the whole thing. I'm sorry. Some people read the first book and they're like, this is absolute trash. And I'm like, no, you have no idea what you're missing out on. Please read the entire thing. Wow, I got so fired up talking about these books. If you can't tell that I'm a hopeless romantic after this video, well, I don't know what to tell you. I love. Go pick up a romance book. Giggle and kick your feet, smile so hard your cheeks hurt, get sweaty, get worked up, get excited, just feel everything that it is you want to feel. There's a variety of emotions in these books for you to pick and choose which one you want to feel through what book today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next weekend. Bye!